Welcome. How is everybody? I'm just going to top up my coffee. I've been racing around today, but yeah, I've got some really good news today. Nicole Youngman, the Knights of Malta, the health industry, the Knights Hospitalier, everything. It's all coming together as one, and we've got something in the ether. Something's happening. I feel it. Water related, and yeah, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay.
Something very big is coming, my people. I can feel it in the air. I feel it in my spirit, and the visions that I'm having are non-stop. Last night vision, let me tell you about it. I was sitting in my chair, my thinking chair like I am right now, and all of a sudden I seen water just rise up to the floor. And I looked up the window and I seen a massive tornado about to touch the ground. My first instinct was like, oh, I gotta find my granddaughter. So I found my granddaughter, Skylar, but my great niece, Ainsley, was with her as well. So I grabbed her and had them both, and I ran out of the house. And then my wife was up there, but then the storm was over. But there was no power, no internet, and there were military soldiers everywhere. And he asked me if I had any sand. I know my life. I know my calling. We need to get ready. Something big's coming.
Welcome everybody. How are we doing? SS, welcome. Buffer B, welcome. Audrey B, Bishop Matt. Who else we got in the chat? What I've done, I'll tell you something funny in a minute, right? Nigel Betts, welcome. Non-conformista, how you doing? Wayne Young, all the regulars. James Sharp, welcome. I've not seen you here before. Welcome. Right, so what I've done, right? My TV, yeah, it's been stormy. It's been really stormy. Yeah. Really stormy. Let me put this on the right screen so that's better. It's been really stormy down here, right? I'm going to play you a video. Sunday night, music's distracting me. Sunday night, about 11 o'clock, half 10, 11, started. I was watching a movie, as you do, and let me turn that music off, it's annoying me. Right, yeah, so Sunday night, as you do, I was watching a movie, and I just start seeing flashes from the windows, like, for about 5 minutes. So I get up, and I'm like, wow, fork lightning everywhere. Start recording. I was recording for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, nearly an hour. It was torrential rain. I must have seen about around 40 or 50 forks in the sky. I've got a picture here as well to show you coming up. But let's do the Knights of Malta first, and we'll get into the reason why it was an emergency broadcast after. I also can't find my tablet, which is weird. And during the storm, the sunroof was open a little bit, and my remote control for my TV, my main monitor, the backlight's turned right down to minimum. So I'm like trying to see it because it's fucked. My remote will not switch on now. It's got wet. So how about that? Yeah, fucking annoying. Anyway, we've got 30 people watching already. Welcome everybody. God. Yeah. So it's too dark when I do that. That's better. So getting the light and right's a bit tricky. So what we're going to do, right? We're going to we're going to look at some the Knights of Malta. Right, I'll play a video. So let me get my screens right because we're not running as normal here. Here we go. Right, check this out. I'll shut up now as well for a bit. 3-4 minutes. Oh, and it's Raw Treat this weekend as well. Big up to all the Rise Above crew. Big up to Lord Samuel. Big up to everybody involved.
28th, the prayer vigil in St. Peter's Basilica kicked off the celebrations for the end of the Year of Consecrated Life. Then, Pope Francis received more than 5,000 consecrated men and women in audience on Monday, February 1st, in the Hall of Paul VI in the Vatican. During his speech, that was completely off the cuff, he recalled 3 pillars of consecrated life, which are modeled according to the vows: poverty, chastity, and obedience, the terrorism of slander, and encouraged prayer for vocations. Pope Francis officially closed the Year of Consecrated Life with a Mass on Tuesday, 2nd of February, the World Day of Consecrated Life. Meanwhile, for the same occasion, the Knights of Malta gathered in Rome in their Grand Priory on the Aventine Hill. Many know the Knights best as an international force of humanitarian aid. Few know that the order grew around a core of consecrated, professed members, the so-called Knights of Justice. They can be traced back directly to the original chivalrous Knights of the Holy Land.
We've had professed knights ever since the very beginning of the order, so it's far from being a new thing. It's a very, very ancient thing. It's 900 years old. At the very beginning of the order, the people who went to the Holy Land were professional.
Guys, if anyone's having buffering issues, looks like I'm having really crap internet now. I just found my tablet, so I'm going to change to Wi-Fi. Stay tuned, and the connection should get better if it's crap. Okay, we continue. Fuck's sake.
Soldiers, most of them. They were then, as it were, fascinated by what they found, by the business of looking after the sick. And so they became those who were not married, and that was probably most of them, made their professions as monks. And of course were already knights. So there was this sort of dual nature of the order. And the people you see today are the direct something we've preserved and other people haven't. If we were having this conversation 500 years ago, or more, the answer is that it wouldn't be a surprise, because all the military religious orders, you know, the Teutonic Knights, the original Knights of the Holy Sepulchre before they died out, and ourselves and the other ones, were all structured in a broadly similar way. The Knights of the Temple, they were all roughly the same.
Professed members, the heart of the order, as Benedict XVI called them, do not live in community, yet they do pray the office and take vows.
Chastity is chastity. Everybody, it's not very difficult to explain that one. Obedience is the difficult one. Who are you obedient to? Well, in theory, the answer is they should be obedient, I suppose, to the Grand Master, and I should be obedient to the Holy Father. I mean, it's roughly the sort of how it works. I mean, the obedience bit is the difficult one, to be frank with you. And poverty is a sensible thing. Poverty is poverty of spirit. And we don't, you know, if I suddenly find one of our professed knights had an enormous yacht moored at Monaco or was driving a Bentley, well, then I would start asking questions.
It is a special vocation, but not an exclusive one. Every Catholic male of good standing may be called to this way of life.
Give me 2 minutes, guys, okay? Just getting some stuff together here.
throughout the world on Sunday, 2nd May. Cardinal Silvano Maria Tomasi, the Pope's special delegate to the Order of Malta, presided over the Eucharistic celebration in the Vatican Gardens Lourdes Grotto. The Lieutenant of the Grand Master, Fra Marco Luzzago, the members of the Sovereign Council, the heads of the Order of Malta in Italy, and about 100 pilgrims were in attendance. We are following the good tradition of the Order of Malta, which focuses its attention, but above all, its service on the sick and the needy. It is because of this tradition that we are here before Our Lady of Lourdes on this rather special pilgrimage, Cardinal Tomasi stated in a heartfelt homily. All over the world, the Order of Malta's Grand Priories and national associations took many initiatives to compensate for the impossibility of being physically in Lourdes, including virtual pilgrimages, prayer initiatives, and pilgrimages to local sanctuaries. A special day that reminded all participants the importance of pilgrimage for the Order of Malta and of the compassion and affection which lead to the Order's mission in its journey of fidelity to Christ and His Church.
Right, we're sorted now, okay? Thank God. Right, I've got all my clips together. I only finished work an hour and a half ago. So, music's okay. I'll get to the chat in a little bit, guys. I've got quite a number of people watching, which is great. It's Esoteric Night of Malta, live streaming from the pirate ship. The connection is good. We're on to, I find my tablet. Yeah, so my backlight on my TV is really low, so it's quite hard to look at stuff. But anyway, we're going to get into some Knights of Malta. Turn my mic up a bit. Knights of Malta stuff. Let me turn the music off, it's annoying me. So, just a second. Right, I'm going to start talking. And, right, so what's happened? Pope Francis on the 3rd of September this year, just a few days ago, pretty much has disbanded the Knights of Malta. That's a sec. Yeah. He's pretty much disbanded the Knights of Malta. Someone makes it a bit too loud. And it got me thinking, you know, you got the Knights Hospitaller, the Knights of Malta, the Knights Templars, right? People think they're all three different things. I did for a long time, okay? But they're really not. They're really not. And now, this year, with what's going on, Shemitah's about to happen, whatever you want to think about that. But I can feel something in the air. The weather's not right. I'm not throwing up devil signs when I speak like that. It's just the way I speak with my hands. But you know what I mean. Storms all week. We're going to get into that later. But at the moment, so Pope Francis has disbanded the Knights of Malta, right? And let me turn that down a bit. And so the Knights of Malta are now under the Vatican. Now, going back through history, I've done an episode, I might play at the end of the episode actually, I've done an episode on Pope Francis and the Knights of Malta and the Freemasons actually. Interesting trio there actually, if you know your esoteric stuff. Takes quite a bit of digging to get to the bottom of it. It's taken me a long time, but it just clicked when this thing's happened, right? So, I'm going to make me a bit smaller, I'm going to share my screen. Fucking tech. I've been at work all day today, so I'm quite tired, but I wanted to do this tonight, so yeah, right, we're gonna get into it now. Display capture. Right, just a sec, guys, sorry. Where are we? Here we go. The joys of live. It's kind of like live research, streaming kinda. Right, so you should see that now. It's good. That's cool. Oh, where am I? Wait a sec. Sorry, guys. I also set up a new profile on OBS tonight without all the funny clips in it. So, all my clips, I had to refresh everything. I had to make everything new. I'm just checking the chat now, actually. James Sharp, welcome. Michael Gumont, Shemitah, yeah, Kleinwald, exactly. Nigel Betts. Yeah, secret societies, we're going to get into that tonight, definitely. Yeah, everything's okay on screen. I'll put myself the other side, actually. There we go. Right, so... oh my god. Wait a sec, guys. I'm in a right nightmare here. Right, that's that done, right. Where's this then? Right, here we go. Right. Pope Francis takes control of the Order of Malta, the Sovereign Order of Malta, and it got me thinking about the Order of the Garter, and how. Do you know what? It'd make more sense if I did something else. I was thinking. All my screen's all messed up. Sorry. It got me thinking about the Order of the Garter and Tony B. Lyer, and just this whole. I've got some photos to drop in here. We'll come back to that in a bit. And when you look into Malta, it does get very interesting. The whole Star Fort on Malta. Let me just stop sharing the screen actually for a minute, because I'm gonna drop in one of the photos I wanted to show you. Okay, just a sec. I'm gonna put this back on the screen now. I'm kind of not using my TV screen because it's a bit dark. So I'm just operating a bit differently tonight. So I apologise for that. But anyway, where is it? Here we go. Oh no, double click. I'm tired. Maybe I shouldn't have done it all tonight. I probably should have done it for tomorrow night. Prince William. This is him wearing the Order of the Garter here. All the paraphernalia. Some say he's the Antichrist, but that's all conspiracy stuff. Here we got sausage fingers and old Sonny. Or is it the King of Spain's son? We don't know. Anyway, what else we got? Here's another interesting photo. Look at this, and it you can't save this as a fileless photo, which is quite interesting. Look at the handshake. Look at the hand. It's not a normal handshake, is it? That's all I've got to say about that. Oh, they're on the screen anyway. The top one. Such a retard. Sorry. Right, but there is another one I want to show you, and this is how the Knights of Malta are. This is what clicked the other day for me, right? Look, we're going to get to that later on. We see these ambulances flying around the UK all the time. I always used to wonder when I was a kid what it was. St. John ambulance, didn't get it, didn't know my history, or lack of history. And we think about the Knights of Malta, the Knights Templar. They apparently used to battle with each other. Now, interesting, yeah. But that's what we're told. And the more I evolve in learning what I learn, why should we try? Look at what's going on now. Look at how history is being rewritten right now. So why should we believe anything from back then? Is it all fiction? Do you know what I mean? It's nuts. So St. John ambulance. My point really is, you see the Knights of Malta cross there. The Maltese, no, it's not the Maltese cross. It's the Knight Malta, or Order of Malta cross, actually, the emblem. And we're told the Knights Templars used to battle with the Knights of Malta, right? But the Knights of Malta and the Knights Templar both did not get on with the Vatican. And look at what's happening now. The Vatican have taken the Order of Malta, and now, because leads me onto a good segue here, just one sec. Because the reason why Pope Francis has done this now is because was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, the leader of the Order of Malta passed away, and I've got video to show you if I can see the screen. I can't see the screen.
The funeral has been held of the Prince and 80th Grand Master of the Sovereign Order of Malta, Fra Giacomo della Torre del Tempio di Sanguinetto, who passed away on the 29th of April in Rome after an incurable disease. In order to comply with COVID-19 restrictions, the funeral was celebrated in a limited form, so it could be repeated 4 times over in the same day to allow relatives, the Order's government, close collaborators, a diplomatic mission, the doctors who had treated Fra Giacomo over the past few months, and some of the Order of Malta's volunteers to pay their last respects. While officiating the funeral, Cardinal Giovanni Angelo Becciu, the Pope's special delegate to the Sovereign Order of Malta, recalled the heartfelt message Pope Francis had sent when he learnt of the Grand Master's death, remembering him as a zealous man of culture and faith. During his homily, Cardinal Becciu said that Fra Giacomo will remain an example for all Order of Malta members, stressing his humanity and generosity that had so profoundly marked his life under the banner of self-sacrifice and service to the poor and the sick. The Holy Father's special delegate recalled Fra Giacomo's interest in culture, in particular art and Christian archaeology, and his long life within the Order of Malta that led him to be elected as head of the institution in May 2 years ago. According to Article 17 of the Constitution of the Sovereign Order of Malta, the Grand Commander, Fra Roy Gonzalo Dovalli Peixoto de Villas Boas, has assumed the functions of Lieutenant ad interim and will remain head of the Sovereign Order until a new Grand Master is elected. Fra Roy Gonzalo Dovalli.
So guys, I'm just playing this clip, the end of the clip again, okay? Just listen to this.
Ali Peixoto de Villas Boas has assumed the functions of Lieutenant ad interim and will remain head of the Sovereign Order until a new Grand Master is elected.
So it's killing my thoughts. The leader died a couple of years ago. The Lieutenant Grand Master, sorry, the leader, the Grand Master of the Order of Malta, I beg your pardon. Nearly 50 people watching tonight. Welcome all. I'll get to the chat in a bit, okay, guys? But yeah, it's fascinating because what I know about all these groups of the Knights of Malta and how let me put myself back on screen, how they're involved in health, right? And how the Vatican, let's go back to that, the Vatican, I'm so tired, I've worked so hard today. So Pope Francis has just disbanded the Knights of Malta, right, pretty much. He's announced that there's not going to be any leader in future. So he's kind of taken them under their wing as such. Let me just share the screen. Not that one. There we go. So, oh, now I can't see that. Sorry, because my TV's got really low backlight. It's really mucking up the way I'm operating tonight, so I beg your pardon, guys. It's affecting the light. Anyway, Pope Francis takes control of the Order of Malta. Let's get back to this. And let's read a bit out. In an effort to end a governing crisis that has plagued the Order of Malta since... let me start again. In an effort to end a governing crisis that has plagued the Order of Malta since 2016, Pope Francis has promulgated a new constitution for the 11th century religious order and replaced its leaders. It just had its 900th ceremony, was it last year or just recently, which I've got a video, but that's coming up later. Even though in a decree issued on the 3rd of September this year, a few days ago, the Pope dissolved the top governing body and also announced the Order of Malta would hold an extraordinary general chapter next January. Even though neither the Vatican nor the Order has yet published the full contents of the new constitution, the papal decree contains two decisive elements. First, the Pope settles the debate and has been agitating the Catholic organisation for years. Yes, the Order of Malta is a religious order, not a humanitarian organisation. Interesting statement there, because all my research and not on screen. Sorry, you can't even see the article properly. Sorry, guys. Wait there a second. Something's gone wrong here. I beg your pardon. I was using display capture, but it wasn't capturing the actual article. I'll just read it out anyway. Yeah, so that's it, nearly finished. But interesting, they say that, where is it? Well, it's interesting that they say that the Order of Malta is not a humanitarian organisation where it's involved in health so much, right? And, where is it? the way I'm operating tonight is just pickling my head because it's not the normal way I do it. I'll have to share my screen, but it's not working properly there. Let me just try again now. There we go. Right, so everybody can see the screen now. That's back to normal. It wasn't like that before. So that's the article I just read out here. This is the article from La Crosse International. There's a few articles, one from Reuters as well, stating the same thing. Yeah, so let's leave that alone for a minute, and we will go to the next article. Wait a sec. Done that one. And we're going to talk about Nicole Junkerman coming up, because I've got some really funny links with her, that link to her via the Vatican, via the Knights of Malta, via the NHS, etc. It's all linked. Honestly, seriously, it's so bad. It's just, it's hypocrisy. It really is. Right, so let me just right, I'm gonna skip through this. That shouldn't have happened like that. There we go. Let me play a video, okay? Because I need to get my clips together here. No, here's another video about the death of the Grand Master of the Order of Malta.
The funeral of Fra Marco Luzzago, Lieutenant of the Grand Master of the Sovereign Order of Malta, was held on Tuesday in Rome's Basilica of Santi Bonifacio and Alessio at the Aventine. Escorted by the Knights and Dames of the Order of Malta, the picket of the Italian Association's Military Corps, and the volunteers of the Italian Relief Corps, the coffin, draped in the Order's flag, moved shortly after 10:30 a.m. from the Church of Santa Maria in Aventino, in the Magistral Villa complex, where the funeral chamber had been set up a few days earlier. Fra Marco Luzzago, who died suddenly on the 7th of June at the age of 71, had been elected Lieutenant of the Grand Master of the Sovereign Order of Malta on November the 8th, 2020. The funeral ceremony was officiated by Cardinal Silvano Maria Tomasi, Special Delegate of the Pope, and concelebrated by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, Dean of the College of Cardinals, and Monsignor Jean Latif, Prelate of the Order of Malta.
Come l'erba sono I giorni dell'uomo, come il fiore del campo così egli fiorisce. Lo investe il vento e più non esiste, e il suo posto non lo riconosce.
Mr. President,
Fra Marco loved Jesus, the Church and the Order, Cardinal Tomasi said in his homily.
questo amore di Fra Marco ha saldato insieme l'esistenza, il servizio all'ordine nella Chiesa.
This love in Fra Marco welded together existence, service to the Order in the Church, and a personal journey of faith steeped in prayer and action. His bonhomie, the trait of a simple, concrete, pious, humble and devout man, faithful to the Pope and in love with the Order, which he held with humility and a spirit of service in these times of travail and troubled waters. His honesty must be an example for all, especially for those with responsibilities. Even Pope Francis, who we thank from the heart for his affinity to the Order, wanted to call Fra Marco's love for the Order.
La sua onestà deve essere di esempio per tutti, soprattutto per chi ha responsabilità.
Accompanied by relatives, Fra Marco Luzzago's coffin will reach Brescia on Wednesday to be buried in the family tomb.
Amen. Benedica il nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. Amen.
At the end of the funeral, the new Lieutenant of the Grand Master, Fra John Dunlap, was sworn in before Cardinal Silvano Maria Tomasi and the Sovereign Council of the Order of Malta.
I, Fra John Timothy Dunlap, solemnly promise and swear on this holy wood of the cross and on God's holy Gospels to observe the Constitution, the Code, the rules, and the laudable customs of our order, and to administer the affairs of the order conscientiously. So help me God. And if I do otherwise, may be it to the risk of my soul.
Right, we're back. I enjoyed that. Right, I've got myself sorted now. I found the other two clips. I've got a really interesting clip of Ronald Reagan talking in 1989 at the, or was that the 900th ceremony? No, it was recently. It's Ronald Reagan, or maybe it was, talking in 1989 at the Knights of Malta conference in somewhere in America. And it's really interesting. I found this really old clip today. Just trying to put it all together in space of a day while I'm working 12 hours a day. So, right, what we're going to do now, guys, is I'm going to play you an episode I put together about a year and a bit ago. It's good. It's called Pope Francis, the Knights of Malta, and the Freemasons. Enjoy. It's about 20 minutes long, but it's like a documentary. I sort of tried my hand at making a documentary. This is my attempt. I think I could do a better job now, though. But it's quite well. My mum liked it, so hey, mum, if you're watching. Let me check the chat before we go, just quickly. Not go, but you know what I mean. Go. Chris Deltz, welcome. How are we? Gary Elliott, how you doing? Buffer B, Rudy and the Dogs. Chris D. Deltz, I was already said that. Sal Padilla, how you doing? Welcome in the chat. Sail Away, welcome. Fractal Dust Bear. Rachel McKayskill, morning. How you doing? Catherine Hamblin, how are you? So many people. Fractal Dust Pervs on that one. John Francois, welcome. John Francis, I think, sorry. And yeah, Nonconformista. Where's Sam? SS, welcome also. I've not even checked the chat at all, I've just been talking. Becky S, welcome also. Yeah, good to have you on board, guys. Right, so I'm going to play you my little documentary about Pope Francis, the Knights of Malta, and the Freemasons. Enjoy. And I'll be back in 20 minutes after it's finished, and we'll talk about Nicole Junkerman, and how she's linked to the Knights of Malta, the NHS, Sepp Blatter, elites, the Army of Darkness. We continue. This is an intro when I used to believe in space about a year and a half ago. Enjoy. Welcome, April, also. Didn't see you. The Masonic lodges were in Britain anyway, and these were the first formed lodges in the world. They were formed in 1717, and this was when 4 London lodges came together at St Paul's Churchyard in London at the Goose and the Gridiron Tavern. That's been a pub, tavern. Tavern's the old name for a pub. And this is on the 24th of June, and they formed the first Grand Lodge. This was in the year 1717. So 2017 was obviously their 300-year celebration, anniversary, whatever you call it. And let's continue. So I'm going to skip through my notes. You know, when you look into Freemasonry, it's very much a brotherhood. There's no women allowed. They also, I mean, when you really dive into it, they seem to discount the divine feminine, and this has been lost in the world, on the globe, on our planet. And really, I think the secret power to what we all need to find out with the true powers that we hold as human beings is the divine. I believe the divine feminine is contained in this, and it's something, when you look into it, which I've been doing, when you're looking into the Knights Templars, and also the Knights of Malta. Now, the Knights Templar and the Knights of Malta, the Knights of Malta were also known as the Knights Hospitalier. Sorry. But when you look, I've looked into it, and the Knights of Malta had quite a few run-ins with the Knights Templar. Now, they did have dealings with each other. I can actually read you an account. This is from the Lepanto Institute, and I'm going to read it word for word because it's a really, really interesting article. And we'll start off with this, and then we will dive into the Mason side of it, the Masonic order, the Masonic conspiracy. So let's get into this. So the article from the Lepanto Institute, I presume, is Italian, maybe British as well. The article is by Michael Hitchborn, 2017, 2nd of July, or the 7th of February. I'm not sure if it's American or not. So let's go. Pope Francis, Freemasonry, and the Knights of Malta. The mysterious recent events surrounding the sovereign military order of Malta took a strange and unexpected twist in the beginning of January, when, in the middle of a bitter feud over the suspension of one of its members, Pope Francis allegedly tossed mention of Freemasons in the mix. As strange as it may seem, there appears to be some historical context that might shed light on the situation. According to a January 7th article in the National Catholic Register, written by the stalwart Edward Penton on November 10th, Cardinal Burke met with Pope Francis, who made it clear to Cardinal Burke that he wanted Freemasonry cleaned out from the order, and he demanded appropriate action. In all news reports on this matter, this is the primary source for any mention of Freemasonry with regard to the Sovereign Order of Malta. Now that's important. This is the only link I have personally found between the Knights of Malta and Freemasonry. Knights Templars have a lot more to do with them. But let's continue. It was a very strange and seemingly out of place comment. However, there is some historical significance to consider, and remember, we are examining Freemasonry in this context only because Pope Francis is said to have mentioned it. A little over 700 years ago, there was a rather tense rivalry between the Knights Templar and the Knights Hospitalier, currently known as the Knights of Malta. That was their original name before it was Knights of Malta. Some accounts of the rivalry suggested that the two knightly orders even came to blows while stationed together in Palestine. Now that's interesting because there was a feud between the Knights of Malta and the Knights Templar, which is total topic on its own. So let's continue again. In the very early 1300s, King Philip IV of France found himself steeped in debt to the Knights Templar. At that time, the Templars reportedly had assumed a considerable amount of wealth and were in a position to make financial loans through their holdings because King Philip owed the Templars large amounts of money and couldn't pay. He began to circulate rumours unjustly and falsely accusing them of all sorts of abominations such as heresy and sodomy. In 1312, under pressure from King Philip, Pope Clement V issued papal bull Vox in Excelsior, formally dissolving the Knights Templar. Shortly thereafter, he issued the bull Ad Providam, which transferred the majority of the Templars' assets over to the Knights Hospitalier, which is the Knights of Malta. So that's interesting because from my own research, when you look into the Knights Templar, there's a famous church in Portugal, and there's an area of Portugal where the Knights Templar took refuge. They settled as such after the Crusades, and this actually, I'll pop a bit of the video in here. I've got it saved actually in my records, so I will show you. I will include a video in this actually.
Nós estamos na Igreja de Santa Maria do Olival, em Tomar, uma igreja gótica do século XIII. Podemos dizer que, em termos simbólicos, estamos no lugar mais importante dos Templários em Portugal. Podemos relacionar com o Monte das Oliveiras, de Jerusalém, que ainda hoje é um território sagrado. Este local tornou-se o local da inspiração dos ancestrais, onde estavam os mestres, e com certeza que seria um local também onde faziam não só rituais fúnebres, mas também talvez rituais iniciáticos dos templários. A estrela 5 pontas sempre teve uma relação com essa verticalização do ser humano. Na minha interpretação, simboliza o regressus ad utrum, ou seja, é a ideia que o cavaleiro na sua iniciação regressa ao útero da terra para renascer espiritualmente. Fora desta igreja, à esquerda, temos um topo do que poderia ter sido uma cisterna. Tomarenses disseram que uma vez, queimando pneus lá, o fumo veio sair aqui. Portanto, é natural que haja um corredor que foi tapado, tanto quanto eu sei, no século XX. A lenda que há aqui de ligação entre o Castelo de Tomar, a Igreja de Santa Maria do Olival.
Nós sabemos que onde houve templários havia túneis. No século XII, 1190, a quando da segunda invasão árabe, o Almansor vem a ocupar todo o território português até chegar a Tomar. Em Tomar é travado por Gualdim Pais e ele desce por um dos túneis do castelo e vem sair exatamente aqui. Se nós olharmos para aqui, mais do que uma fonte, o que nós vemos é uma homenagem ao sagrado feminino. E isso, no espírito templário, também é importante, porque a mulher é mãe, é terra, e é da terra, tal como da mulher, que nasce a vida.
Fica para o enigma que é de onde veio a certeza do efeito Henrique. Tomar torna-se o centro eclesiástico de todas as igrejas cristãs que se vão edificando além-mar, e a igreja sede de todas essas igrejas era Santa Maria do Olival. Daí que este lugar é importante não só para a história portuguesa, mas para a história dos descobrimentos, que teve um impacto mundial. Os templários penetraram profundamente no imaginário de Tomás, até aos nossos dias.
This brief historical sketch sets the stage for Freemasonry's entrance on the scene. The Freemasons claim illegitimately the Knights Templar as part of their lineage. The truth is, after the Knights Templar were dissolved, the order ceased to exist. It was finished. There was no continuation of the order after Clement V dissolved it in 1312. So, be that as it may, the Freemasons nonetheless claim the Knights Templar as their own. Interesting. Regardless of whether or not the Templars continued to exist in secret, later to come back in the form of Freemasonry is immaterial. What is important to understand here is that because the Freemasons claim the Templars as part of their lineage, they have also adopted the legendary emotional baggage associated with the betrayal of the order. 33-degree Freemason Albert Mackey wrote Encyclopedia of Freemasonry and its Kindred Sciences in 1873. In his entry on the Knights of Malta, Mackey wrote, the rival brotherhood of the Templars was abolished by a pope and a king of France, and what of its revenues and possessions was saved from the spoliation of its enemies was transferred to the Hospitaliers. There had always existed a bitter rivalry between the two orders, the Templars and the Hospitaliers, marked by unhappy contentions which on some occasions, while both were in Palestine, amounted to actual strife. Toward the Knights of St. John, the Templars had never felt nor expressed a very kindly feeling, and now this acceptance of an unjust appropriation of their goods in the hour of their disaster, keenly added to the sentiment of ill will and the unhappy children of de Millais as they passed away from the theatre of knighthood, left behind them the bitterest Welcome, Jacob. But for B also, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? How did they paint that ceiling? Because it doesn't make sense. We would struggle to do that nowadays. Yeah, even the size of it. Do you ever wonder why cathedrals are so big? Crazy. It's like it's all conspiracy. How you doing, Jacob, as well? Back to the show.
Of the disciples of the hospital. The Freemasons, though the legend of its association with the Knights Templar, hold the Knights of Malta in contempt. This feeling of bitterness and anger is even agitated and ritualized in one of the higher degrees of Freemasonry, The 30th degree of Freemasonry is called a degree of the Knights Kadosh, which translates from Hebrew to mean holy or consecrated, beg your pardon. This degree is directly associated with the Knights Templar. So the Mason who enters into the 30th degree is indeed considered by the secret society to be a Knight Templar. Interesting. Mackay explains in the Masonic Encyclopedia that the Kadoshas, as representatives of the Templars, adopt the Boisant as their standard. The Boisant is the black and white banner of the Knights Templar. We must be clear here. We are only bringing up Freemasonry and their beliefs because Pope Francis allegedly did, and we are attempting to make sense of what this could mean. In no way are we establishing the existence of a Masonic conspiracy with regard to recent events surrounding the Knights of Malta, but because it was brought up, it must be examined as a piece of the overall puzzle as it relates to the case at hand. The entire Masonic initiation rite in the 14th, 13th century, and a skull-wearing crown representing King Philip. So they essentially, this ritual, I can see the picture in front of me, and they are stabbing the skulls while wearing a papal tiara representing Pope Clement V and the skull wearing of France. According to the complete ritual of the ancient and accepted Scottish rite, the Grand Master explains the mysteries of the skulls to the candidate. Here's what he says. In almost all of the rituals of this degree, nothing but vengeance is spoken of, but this is an allegory without meaning. For this degree contains all the philosophy of our sublime institution, which is nothing more, nothing less than a mythical hero in Freemasonry introduced in the lowest degrees, close brackets, or even the slaughter of the Knights Templar and the murder of the Grand Master. And if the ceremonies of this degree recall to our mind...
Guys, if you can hear me, all I'm seeing is red for the last 2 minutes, right? The subject that I'm talking about, this was over a year ago, is already on YouTube. Well, we seem to be back on now. I'm not sure. The internet is just awful. I don't even know if I'm still streaming or not. It looks so bad. Yeah, it's buffering, yeah. Okay, I'll continue. It's just so off-putting, you know what I mean? We've only got a few minutes left of this, and then I'll come back on screen.
The catastrophe resulting in the overthrow of an illustrious order. It is true, nevertheless, that the commemoration of the bloody tragedy of the 11th day of March 13th, 14 has not... It is impossible to say, without direct and confirmed evidence, in what manner Freemasonry is at work with regard to the Knights of Malta. What we can say is that Pope Francis allegedly mentioned Freemasonry with regard to the Knights of Malta. Number 2, Freemasonry claims a connection to the Knights Templar, whose assets were transferred to the Knights of Malta in 1312. The Freemasons have an entire initiation ceremony dedicated to revenge for the destruction of the Templars. Whatever the case, what we can say for sure is that there is much more to this story than is being reported. Full stop. What a great article. This is, it's truly a great article. I will post the link to the article below in the description, and I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I find it fascinating. The Knights of Malta, which I believe now, even after reading this and discovering this article a couple of days ago, I am thinking that the Knights of Malta have a big link to the Jesuits and the Grey Pope and the Black Pope. Prove me wrong, in the words of Isaac Cappy. But anyway, guys, yeah, I mean, it's really fascinating when you really dig into the Knights Templar also. So really the figurehead of the Knights Templar, and this is renowned within the Masonic order as well a little bit, but Jacques de Molay, he was born in 1240 and he died in 1314, not long after this. He was burned on a stake, and his death acquiesced on Friday the 13th, which is where the cursed Friday the 13th comes from. So that's an interesting little thing. But Jacques de Molay was revered by his brothers, his other knights of the realm, the Knights Templar. He was quite he was praised a lot. So interesting subject to Google, or DuckDuckGo, as I don't use Google anymore. So yeah, hope you really enjoyed that, guys. Please like and share the video, and yeah, eyes open, no fear. Ciao for now.
I like that song, but I'll get copyrighted if I play it. So hope you all enjoyed that. Whenever I talk about that subject, the Freemasons, it just goes red, like buffering, connection gone. I thought the stream was down about 5 minutes ago, so I apologise for anybody buffering. Don't know why. Do you know what I mean? All I'm seeing now is red, so I'm just going to ignore it. Some people say it's buffering, some people don't. So interesting. Jacob says it is, and buffer bees in Britain, and maybe it's buffers in the subject I'm talking about. Maybe it buffers in America and not in Britain. Something to think about. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, now we're going to bring on Nicole Junkerman and her links to the NHS, the Knights of Malta, the Vatican, etc., etc. Sepp Blatter. She's got she has a plethora of businesses. She's also on the Sage. She's on Sage in the UK. I'm not going to get into medical stuff too much, but you know what I mean. She got Matt Hancock the job, I think. Pretty sure she got Matt Hancock the job. So right, St John Ambulance, and I see these like we talked about before. You know, I see these flying around every day, just every single day. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I asked a few lads in work, so I'm gonna check the stream if it's still streaming. Yeah, cool, it seems to be good. Right, I'm still seeing red, but I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm actually gonna put it off screen, so I can't even see it, because it does put me off. So, right, let's get to it. So the St John Ambulance, the Knights of Malta, etc., etc. This is a great, oh no, I've already got it on screen. This is a great photo. No, wait a sec. There we go. Right, there are some really handy keyboard shortcuts on OBS as well. This, you know, this symbolism, this cross. I think my mic's a bit too loud. This cross, etc. It's I think of Vikings, and even when you look at Wim's work about how this clan of people, how this order of people seem to have come in or just appeared in our realm, whether they're from Atlantis, wherever they're from. It's just very interesting. This bloodline, the Merovingians, etc. To be in the Order of Malta, you need to be, you need to have five generations of the blood to be in the Maltese sovereign order. How about that? So yeah, it's interesting. Here's a nice little photo of Queenie, but it doesn't even look like Queenie much. Does that look like the Queen to you? Let's make it big, okay? Or is she just chubby then? In the politest manner. Doesn't look like the Queen to me. Look at all the young boys, all the choir boys, etc. Disgusting. Anyway, we know what happens. Oh yeah, speaking about that, actually, please, somebody that doesn't believe in what I believe in, just explain this video to me. I'm still waiting for an explanation on this video. Okay, where's the sound? Check it out.
Är han naken?
Buckingham Palace. He's got one sock on.
Filmar du det? Helt annan tid, eller hur?
Precis.
Mm. Du, kolla. Är han naken?
Right, I'm just gonna just skip through it. Somebody explain to me what's going on. Oh, somebody said in a comment actually in another episode I did, there was a guy watching it from inside the palace watch. Somebody told me this. I haven't spotted it though.
Är han naken?
Watch, this is where he falls. Look. What's that all about? What's he escaping from? What drives you? If you're in looks like a bedroom upstairs, office bedroom. What drives you to climb out a window naked with one sock on, with bed sheets, and then drop to the floor? What's that all about? Let's make it bigger. Crazy, isn't it? So, anyway, enough about that, sorry. Interesting video though, isn't it? So, what have we got next? Right, display capture, let's swap these around. Just a second, guys. Oh, I found my remote control as well. Also, it should be better now, actually. Yeah, it's better now. Right, the lighting's better now, so I'm sorted. I'm still seeing red on the stream. Shouldn't be, but let's just see. Yeah, I think it's buffering, but anyway. Do you know what? See if it's buffering. Right, look, do you know what? Let's leave a nice Malta there. Let's get onto the water news because, yeah, let's get onto that, okay? Put that away. And, right, so the weather, etc. The weather at the moment is not right. I've noticed this. Here's a video of the storm I was in on Sunday night. There was even one last night. Fork lightning everywhere, honestly. Wow. Oh, wait there. This is a storm. I was recording for about 45 minutes. Joe makeup is better. I was recording for about 45 minutes. It was serious, like fork lightning, just all the time. Speed up. I want to show you a bit of fork lightning. See that this went on for about an hour. Then I slept in for work the next morning because I was up late video. Brilliant. But it was nuts. Okay. The flashes are really quick. There's loads of them though. The storm was right above me at one point. This point here. Raining a bit more. I've got the camera up to the sky. It's just flashing. The sky was flashing all night, literally. And it just made me think about wait a sec. It just made me think about what's coming and what's happening. Something's not right in the air. The weather is just cloud every day. it's only just September. September's nice in the UK usually. It's just something doesn't feel right to me. Like what this guy says here, I'll show you the clip. April sent it to me. It's a really interesting clip because this is how I've felt like this for a long time. Just a second, I'm just trying to find the clip. Oh, I've had a long day today. Alright, here we go. I just want to get this news out because it links to 9/11 and it links to everything else. Watch. Oh, for God's sake. Where is it? Oh, right, play would help. Oh, what the hell's going on here? Sorry guys, just a sec. And there we go. Right.
Something very big is coming, my people. I can feel it in the air. I feel it in my spirit. And the visions that I'm having are non-stop. Last night vision, let me tell you about it. I was sitting in my chair, my thinking chair like I am right now. And all of a sudden I seen water just rise up to the floor. And I looked up the window and I seen a massive tornado about to touch the ground. My first instinct was like, oh, I gotta find my granddaughter. So I found my granddaughter, Skylar, but my great niece, Ainsley, was with her as well. So I grabbed her and had them both and I ran out of the house. And then my wife was up there, but then the storm was over. But there was no power, no internet. And there were military soldiers everywhere. And he asked me if I had any sand. I know my life. I know my calling. We need to get ready. Something big's coming.
Something big is coming. I can feel it. I think other people can feel it as well. You know, I just want to make people. I want to point out what I think is happening. The ether, the air is being charged up. It's not right. These electrical storms. There's so much electricity up there. Like the video, I'm not going to show you all of it. It's too long. But some of the fork lightning, I've never seen lightning like this in my life. It was ferocious, absolute purple, pink, white, blue, horizontal for, I would say, a couple of miles, the biggest one I saw. And again, it just something feels off. You know, I talk about Poseidon, tsunamis, floods, biblical stuff. You know, the Bible's a future script. That's what they're doing. Yeah, interesting. But so in the corner of the screen here, moving around, is Nicole Junkerman and her former husband. She was also Epstein's. Girlfriend as well at one point. But I just want to quickly drop these photos in here because she's a very interesting character. She's quite private. Well, she's private and she's not online. There's not much about her private life online. Not that I really want to know, but she's involved in very high circles, extremely high circles. I'm just making a photo, right? Okay. So yeah, and literally making this episode live as we go. And this is the most interesting photo, okay? She got her baby christened. I made a Twitter thread about this. She got her baby christened by the Vatican, by, was it Pope Francis? I'm not sure. This is about 3-4 years ago now. So she has links to the Vatican, and she's involved in NHS. She's involved in all sorts, right? And it's funny because when I was searching for her today, okay, this photo in the corner here, this was in my Twitter thread, right? And what was it? When you click on that photo online, it'll take you to a Twitter thread. It was my Twitter thread. But this is what you get. This is what you get when you click on it. The thread's too old. The user's been deleted. Yeah, that was me. That was me. So that was interesting. But anyway, I just want to drop Nicole Junkerman in there because I didn't mention too much about her. Even how, let's play this clip. It's only a couple of minutes. Very interesting clip. Again, talking about health. The Order of Malta at the border between Hungary and Ukraine. Check it out. Very interesting clip here. Get it up screen. Alright, there we go. Check it out.
Here we are at Beregsurány, at the help center, as we call it. This is a reception area for the refugees and also a meeting point for them with their families, relatives, and friends.
I have a cat.
This serves as a shelter place for those who have no transport means or accommodation. This is of course just a temporary shelter place. We can shelter them for up to 3 days.
Меня зовут Оля Акулевич. Сейчас я приехала из города Киева. Последний месяц я находилась в Закарпатской области, потому что мы 5 дней с котом сидели в подвале, и я устала от этого. Поэтому мы тут были у знакомых, но я вижу, что ситуация не улучшается, и придется ехать дальше куда-то.
Beregszászon, a beregszászi járási Máltai Szövetet Szolgálat egyik raktárában vagyunk, ahol éppen a beérkezendő.
Okay, enough about that, but I just want to point out again, in the previous article I read out, the Vatican stated, the publisher stated that the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta are not a humanitarian organisation. What are they doing where they were just now in the video? You know, it's all linked, etc., etc. Let's go back to the water thing to finish up. Yeah, so it's just really interesting what's happening with the weather. I mean, the weather is just, we got this grey haze constantly, and then really thick cumulus clouds below it, really low, almost you could touch them. Something's just not right, and all these electrical storms, were supposed to be one tonight, there's one tomorrow, and there's one every day this week, actually, apparently. So there's a lot of electrical energy around, which is just strange. I find it really strange. So yeah, anyway, I think that's about it. And yeah, there was something else I want to talk about. What was it? Oh yeah, sorry. What was to link with the weather? I didn't finish on it. Let me just find a clip. Do you know what? I don't think I have I don't think I did this all in a rush today. Oh no, well, here's a few clips here. It's interesting to watch, right? It's what I see every day in work. The state of Britain, right? Tanks. That was today. Everywhere, every day. This is today. Tanks. That one. This is today. Oh no, you can't see, that's a photo, sorry. It was today, it was another military vehicle. It's on my phone. Anyway, interesting, you know, all these military vehicles flying around everywhere. The amount being, I'm watching it above Southampton, and yeah, it's nuts. It really is nuts how many is being moved. And it's coming up to winter in Eastern Europe. So there's not going to be any fighting or anything because it's all going to be frozen over. So why are they going? It's weird, you know. Anyway, quick check the chat. Also 7G guys, do watch Unity News Network on DLive or Odysee. Unity News Network, really good channel. I've got to reply to David, the Emperor. But I was watching the show. It's a lunchtime show today. No, it was last night's show. Monday night show, and they're talking about 7G. Actually, I've got a thing here just to finish up. There was a guy on it talking about 7G, and it was really, really interesting. Can't really see that. That's not the right one. It's really interesting. when you're looking at 7G, you're talking about voice to skull, etc. As you can see below me here, voice to skull technology is embedded in 5G mind control, reaches its apex. But when you look at 6G, which is for robots, 5G I believe is actually a bit of a red herring, although it is frequencies and it's probably activating things in people's bodies. We know what I'm talking about. That's what I think 5G is for. 6G robots to power them up. Terahertz wave, a lot thicker, 1,000 more times powerful than 5G will be, and 7G is just taking over the human body. So anyway, that's it guys. I'm going to check the chat before I go. Get to the chopper. Do you know what? Do it. No, I don't have it here.
Get to the chopper!
Oh, I can't not play that, can I? As I loaded it up earlier during the nice subtle documentary, as I loaded it up, it played, and it shouldn't have. I was like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, Gary Elliott, thanks for watching. Rachel, Shambhala. Yeah, I've not been having apocalyptic dreams, Shambhala, but something's coming. Honestly, they need something huge, like the Joachim and Boaz, the towers in New York. They need something huge again to really. It needs to be so big that it will shift the consciousness back to what they want it to be. But we're doing a good job, I think. They're panicking. We are winning, I think. We just can't see it. They're never going to report on it. So yeah, it's very interesting time to be alive. Wonder why I didn't. Just checking the chat, guys. Let me check the chat properly up here. Oh, where's it gone? Right, there we go. Adam Cook, thanks for watching. Also, Sail Away. Matthew Reynolds, hey dear. Neo Drifter, welcome. Yeah, right. I'm not going to check all the chat. So yeah, but we are winning. I think we really are. It's encouraging what we're doing because we are making a difference. We just need to keep doing it though. Watch and a really good channel to watch as well. Z Media. ZEE Media, Maria Z in Australia. I get a lot of my news from her. She's really good. Yeah, so that's it. We've got a tiny little nice outro, some Chinese music, a beautiful, a really talented girl, sorry, playing us out. Okay, so yeah, thanks to everybody watching. We will continue the Knights of Malta series in the next episode, but I've got to do a bit more research from that because I only thought of this episode around lunchtime today. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Ciao for now. In Lakesh.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.